So what we discussed in the previous class, guys? We discussed about the AWS service. Which service? EC2 service is completed. 1 second, guys. Yeah. So what we discussed in the previous class, guys? We discussed about the AWS service EC2. EC2, right? Kiran understood, right? How to launch the EC2 services. Okay. So snapshot, disk partition snapshot, auto scaling. Hmm? So disk partition, snapshot, auto scaling. Hmm. So load balancer. What is this, guys? This is a task, guys. You guys can do this disk partition, snapshot, auto scaling, and load balancer. Okay. So because of we don't have a time, right? So you already know. So you already know the disk partition in the VM. So the same way you can add the disk in the disk and you can partition, create the partition and attach it to app logs or whatever it may be. Okay. Ram keys, Kiran, you guys can do. Hey,
Fine. Now I have in between me, Virginia.
Eji,
Yeah, is it?
you can join. So I told you, right? What is the time now?
The time is 8:15 a.m. now.
Nah, I told you, right? You join at 9 a.m. 9
Okay,
a.m.
okay.
IST best.
It's okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
I will ping you the link. You can join at 9 a.m. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, Kati is from US. Kati is also joined. Diamond also joined. You can join at
Uh,
9 a.m. EST. Okay.
yeah, it's okay.
9 a.m. EST. Are you able to see my screen, right? Yeah. So disk partition, you guys can attach the disk. What you guys can do? So disk partitions, what you guys can do, you can attach the disk. Okay. So first add the disk, create the disk. Okay. And attach the disk to instance and create or format the disk and mount the disk to /apps applogs directory. So before that, create a directory app logs. Okay, so mount the disk to app logs directory, and later unmount the disk to unmount the partition. Okay, unmount the partition, then detach the detach the detach the disk to instance, then detach the disk to instance. Okay, so you can do the disk partition. So what is a snapshot, guys? So what is a snapshot? Guys, tell me what is a snapshot. Guys, tell me what is snapshot. Guys, tell me what is snapshot. Does anyone knows what is snapshot?
For backup usage.
Yes. So this is a something like what is this? EC2 instance is a EC2 EC2 instance is EC2 instance is launched in the hardware, right? Something like hardware. It's a VM hardware. Something like it's a VM. Hardware may crash it. It may hardware it may crash. It may crash. So what will you do on that time? So what you will do on that time? So there is no backup. There is there is no backup. There is no backup, right? There is no backup. So that time, so definitely there will be a failure. There will be a failure. So that's the reason. So we need to take the backup of the server. So that is nothing but a snapshot. What is that, guys? Snapshot is nothing but a backup of the server. So we can take the snapshot. Snapshot. If you take the snapshot, right, it will crash our server. You can restore it from the. Hmm. If something goes wrong, we can restore from backup. Okay, we can restore from backup. So what is auto scaling, guys? What is auto scaling? Guys, tell me what is auto scaling. Ramki, do you know what is auto scaling? So auto scaling is nothing but a s- scale up and scale down. Scale up and scale down the resources. Resources are is nothing but a VMs or instances based on the traffic. Based on the traffic. If traffic increases, is it if the traffic is increasing, the the instances will increase. The instances will increase. If the traffic goes down, if the traffic goes down, it will decrease it will scale down the it will scale down the scale down the instances. So this is nothing but a auto scaling. So what is load balancing? What is a load balancing? So load balancing is nothing but load balancer. Hmm. Hmm. What is a load balancer? So load balancer is nothing but we can share the load. We can share the load. For example, the application is hosted on, for example, 100 servers, 100 instances. What is that? 100 instances. The application is hosted on, so something like, for example, our BlueJ. What is that, guys? Our BlueJ, www.bluejtech.com. So this is our website. This website, so how many people are accessing this website? These people are accessing something like a 10,000 people accessing, but it is only sufficient for the 5,000 people only, right? So I hosted this website in the two servers. I hosted this website in the two server based on the CPU, based on the CPU and memory, based on the CPU and memory, the traffic will the traffic will goes to the next app server. Next app server. So load balancer, it will share the traffic. It will share the traffic. Guys, understood? So these all are the attributes or services and the EC2 instances. EC2 instances. Guys, understood? Yes. Yeah. So so we completed the service. So AWS EC2 service. So then, so the next service is, so what is the next service, guys? The next service is IAM and what is that, guys? IAM, identity. What is that, guys? Identity and access management. So what is that service? The service is identity and access management. Access management. So identity and access management. What is this identity and access management? It looks like a user administration, user administration Linux. So it looks like a identity is nothing but a identity and access management. It looks like a user administration in Linux. It looks like a user administration in Linux. Okay. So how we can authenticate? How we can authenticate? Authenticate with the console. How we can authenticate with the console? So so Linux we have how many users we have? So root user access means admin access. Which access, guys? Admin access. Root user access is nothing but admin access and the normal user access. So normal user access. So in a company, took the AWS cloud and they are providing the username, and password, so that username is a root username, root username, and it it contains a admin access. It contains a admin access. So right. So for example, in a company develop development team, DevOps team, okay, DevOps team, for example, QA team, PE team, run team, okay. So Linux engineer team or Windows engineer team or something like cloud engineer, cloud engineer team. So these all are the teams, right? So we want to give access to the particular user or particular group. So for example, the users are, what are the users? Hari is the user, Ramki is the Ramki is the user, Ravi is the user, Sandeep is the user, okay, Kiran is the user. These all are the users. So we will provide the access to a individual users. We can we can we can provide the access to the individual user or a group. Individual user or a group. So what are the concepts in the IAM? What are the concepts, guys? Users, groups, policies, roles. So policies and roles. Right, guys? Now you understood the IAM. So what we will need to provide? So we need to provide the access to the users, groups, and policies and roles. So what is users? Users you already know. Groups you already know. So what is the policy? Policy is nothing but a service. What is that? Policy is nothing but a service. So we can attach the we can attach the service to a group, right? So for example, so Linux engineer groups. So we need to provide the only EC to full access. For example, cloud administrator. Cloud administrator will provide the admin access. For example, DBA team. DBA team will provide only RDS access. Storage team will provide only the storage access. Right. So policy is nothing but a service. We need to attach it to the group or individual group. Now you understood? Role will tell you. So it's a simple, guys. IAM is a very simple. Okay. So we can access the console. We can access the we can access the console, either root user or IAM user. Which user, guys? IAM user. We can access the console, either root user or IAM user. Root user or IAM user. Okay. What this is? Guys, what this is? Cloud. What this is? This is a cloud. Who are the cloud providers, guys? AWS, GCP, AWS, GCP, or for example, only cloud. Okay. Or I will tell you, cloud providers. So cloud providers. Who are the cloud providers? AWS, Azure, Azure, GCP, right? GCP, OCI, OCI, IBM, IBM, or only Baba Cloud. These all are the cloud providers. So every cloud providers, so we can access the cloud by using two ways. We can access the cloud uh, by using two ways. So how we can access the cloud? Yeah. So as of now, how you are accessing your AWS cloud? How you are accessing your AWS cloud? aws.console.com. aws.console.com. So this is a GUI. So this is a GUI. We can connect. So we can connect the AWS through GUI manner and CLI manner also. So how you can connect the server? You can connect the server in two ways. So one is GUI, the other one is CLI manner. So CLI manner. What is CLI? Command line interface. We can connect the server in the command line interface and GUI. So in the graphical user interface, how you are interacting with that application? By providing username and password. So by using username and password, right? As a root user or IAM user. So how you can connect with the AWS CLI? How you can connect with the AWS CLI? Same. So we can connect with the AWS CLI by using secret key and access key. What is that, guys? Secret key and access key. Access key and secret key. How you can connect with the GUI? You can connect with the GUI by using username, password, and secret key, access key. Why this CLI? Why this CLI? So how you are launching your EC2 instance, Bhaskar? So how you are launching your EC2 instance? EC2 instance by manually you launched the EC2 instance through console. I want to launch the EC2 instance through code, through code, through code. Code. So if you click the code, it will automatically deploy a EC2 instance. So how you can automate it? This is a manual way. This is a automation. Automation. So automation comes into the picture. So every cloud provider having their own IAC tool. So you see, right, guys? So whatever it may be, if it is AWS, Azure, GCP, OCI, IBM, Alibaba, so we can connect in two ways. So one is GUI and another one is CLI. So we can connect by using CLI. So we can connect by using GUI. GUI. So okay, CLI means if you want to launch ACT instance through code, so through code, so this is the automation. Yeah. So which language we can write the code? Which language? So we can write the code. So every cloud provider having their own automation tool. Their automation. What is the tool? The tool name is called it as a IAC. What is that? IAC. IAC means infrastructure as code. So we can build the infrastructure as a code also. So we can build the infrastructure as a code. So how you launched your EC2 instance? This is the infra. How you launched your EC2 instance? Through manually. Through manually you launched. How we can launch the EC2 instance through infra. Infra as a code. Infra as a code. IAC tool. So AWS provides their own IAC tool is cloud. What is the tool, guys? Cloud formation templates. What is that? CFT. What is that? Cloud formation template. So by using CFT, so we can build the infra. Every, for example, AWS CFT, Azure ARM. So GCP something, OCI something. They are using their own IAC tool and build the infra. For example, for example, in our company, you used three cloud environments. In our company, so you used three cloud environments, AWS, Azure, and GCP. If you want to build the infra through code, how many languages you need to know? How many IAS tools, how many IAC tools you need to know? So for example, this is AWS, this is Azure, this is GCP. So every cloud providing having their own IAC tool. So you need to learn the three IAC tools, right? To build the infra. So it is difficult or not? It is a difficult to learn the three IAC tools, right? Is there any common tool to use the tool and build the infra? Yes. So there is a one common tool. That tool is nothing but a Terraform. What is the common tool, guys? Yeah, what is the IAC tool? Terraform. So Terraform is the IAC tool to build the infra. It supports multiple cloud providers. It supports multiple cloud providers. If you learn the Terraform, it will be easy to build the build the infra in different cloud providers. So Terraform is the common IAC tool. It will supports it will support many number of cloud providers. If you learn one IAC tool, it will be easy to learn. If you want to learn three IAC tools, it is very difficult. If you learn any one of the IAC tool, it will be easy to understand and it will be easy to build the infra. So that's the reason Terraform comes into the picture. So who is the IAC tool, guys? Terraform is the IAC tool. Infrastructure as a code tool. Guys, now you understood? The second task is task 2, guys. What is that? Task 1 is, what is the task 1? That is hard disk. So the task 2 is, what is the task 2? So task 2 is, forgot. Yeah. Task is how to connect the AWS cloud through CLI. AWS CLI. You guys can connect your AWS through CLI, right? This is the task 2. Guys, understood? Putty is a, so Putty, which protocol it uses? Putty uses which protocol? So by using Putty, so what we will connect by Putty? So we can use the Putty. So which tool which we can connect? SSH. So Putty uses the SSH. If you use the Putty and connect the AWS, AWS is a application host, right? How you can connect with the AWS? Hmm. I'm not asking about the server EC2 instance. I'm asking about the cloud. I'm asking about the AWS cloud. How you can connect manually through GUI, how you can connect through CLI. CLI also we can connect the AWS cloud. I'm asking AWS cloud. I'm not asking about the server. I'm asking about the cloud. How we can connect the AWS cloud through CLI. So manually, by using console GUI. By using console, you can connect the username. We will give the username password. You can connect it. But in the CLI, how you can connect? Okay, so that is the task. How you can connect the AWS CLI, AWS CLI, not the EC2 instance. Okay, so if it is a EC2 instance, we can connect via putty or mobile extreme or super putty. Right? I'm asking about the console AWS. Yeah, AWS cloud. So how you are connecting? You are connecting by using GUI and you are connecting through CLI. GUI, you know, username and password, but how you can connect the AWS cloud through CLI? That is the task to you guys. Okay. Yeah. So, so if you want to connect the AWS CLI, we need a secret key and access key. So where we can create the access key and secret key? So we can create the access key, secret key for a user. For example, Hari user, Terraform user, Ravi user, Bhaskar user, Ramki user, or something like a Kiran user, Funny user. So we can create the user. So we can create the user and we can create the password in two ways. One is one is for the cloud, one is for the console, and the other one is for the CLI. So one is for cloud, one is for GUI, and other one is for the CLI. CLI purpose we can create the access key and secret key. So for that purpose we need IAM user. So for that purpose we need IAM user, right? So that's the reason I started the IAM service. What is that, guys? IAM service.
హర్యానా.
మ్యూట్ లో ఉందా?
కెన్ యూ స్పీక్ లవ్లీ అన్న?
యా.
ఓకే.
ఎంతసేపు అవుతుంది వాయిస్ రాక? 1 second, guys. Yeah. So Tulasi, you know, right? IAM, Identity Access and Management.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Little bit, you know, na? You know.
Yes. Because last time I missed this class also.
You missed, Identity Access and Management. So IAM is nothing but Identity Access and Management, Introduction to Identity and Access Management, understanding the IAM console, creating and managing security groups, creating and managing users, managing the users and passwords under security key, creating and managing roles, understanding and maintaining policies, understanding multi-factor authentication, user login process, guys. User login process. So right, I think Tulsi knows. So we can access the cloud, we can access the any cloud we can access it by using two ways. So one is GUI, the other one is the CLI manner. So GUI means we can access by using username and password. In the CLI we can access by using secret key and access key. Okay. Yeah. So what is IAM? IAM stands for Identity and Access Management. IAM is a web services. Looks like a S3 service, EC2 service, RDS service, and VPC service, right? So it that enable you to manage user and group permissions in AWS. So it is targeted to the organization with the multiple users or systems that use AWS products such as Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, Amazon Relational Database Service, and Amazon Management Console. So why we go for IAM? To avoid a security and logistical headache. For example, so company took the AWS cloud provider, they provide a root access. So we'll not give that root access to the all the people, right? We need to restrict the permissions. For example, DBA, database administrator, will provide the RDS permissions, and the developer will need the EC2 access. For example, okay, DevOps people, we need the access of EKS, ECS, the services, and the Linux engineers, we need to provide the ECT access also. Okay, so we need to provide the one service or a multiple services. We need to provide a access. So right, to avoid the security and logistical headache, when you create an AWS account, it has permissions to do anything and everything will with all the resources. IAM allows you to limit accesses as needed as and gives you the peace of mind that approved people are accessing the right resource in the desired manner. So why we go for IAM? IAM will allow to use IAM will allow us to create multiple users with individual security credentials and permissions. With IAM, each user is allowed to do only that they need to do. So for example, you see, guys, so the people easy to developer will access only EC2, will provide only EC2 access. That administrator, that DBA people will access the storage and the RDS, will provide the RDS. For example, the networking people will provide the access to the all, will provide the access to the all. So why we go for IAM? Each user in AWS account must have a unique set of credentials to access the console. Each user in the AWS account, must have a unique set of credentials to access the console. So what is IAM? Different types of users have different set of permissions. What is it? So what is IAM? Different types of users have different set of permissions. So for example, administrators, system operators, developers. So administrator need to access all the AWS resources. Amazon EC2, Amazon RDS, Amazon S3. Amazon EC2, RDS, S3. What is that? I already provided that. Yeah. So what is the service, guys? The service is IAM, identity and security. So what is the service in AWS? IAM. IAM is nothing but a identity and access management. In Azure, what is that? Active Directory. Active directory. In GCP, what it is? Cloud IAM. In OCI, identity and access. In IAM, identity and access. Guys, understood? These all are same. These all are same. They will provide the access. But okay. So I think you already know, right? The service. So IAM is nothing but a identity and access management in AWS, Azure in Active Directory, and GCP in Cloud IAM, OCI in identity and access. Identity and access. So for example, compute services. So EC2, AWS we call it as EC2, and Azure we call it as a virtual machine, GCP we call it as a compute engine, OCI we call it as a compute instances. Everything is same. They are providing a virtual machine, but the naming convention, the core functionality should be same. The functionality should be same. For example, we need a VM, virtual VM. In AWS, in AWS cloud we call it as a EC2 instance. In Azure we call it as a virtual machine. In GCP we call it as a compute engine. In OCI we call it as a compute instance. All are same, but the naming convention is different. But the naming convention is different. If you learn any one of the cloud, it will be easy to understand the other clouds also. It will be easy to understand the other clouds also. Okay. Yeah. So developers need only access to the Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. We'll provide the only Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud access. Okay. So what is IAM? So we can use the IAM to create a unique user for each employee and define their permissions. Define their permissions. Adele, Bob, Dev. So she is administrator. He is the system operation engineer. He is a developer. What are the permission we need to provide? So administrator needs all the permissions. We will provide the admin access. So system operations. System operations we need something like IAM, EC2 and storage. We will provide those three services. A developer we need only EC2 instances. We will provide the instances. What is a group? We have a 3 minutes, right? Yeah, what is a group? A group is a collection of IAM users. A group is a collection of IAM users. After you set the permissions on a group, those permissions are set to all the users in the group. Same like as a Linux. So same like as a Linux. In the Linux also, if you provide the group, if you provide the permissions to the group, so whatever the people are related to that group, right? Those permissions will allocate to the users also. Users also. So even if you create a user, we need to use group to set the permissions. We need to manage the access for number if the groups instead of managing access for every individual user. So every individual user accessing permission is difficult. If you create a group and attach it to that group in the people, and we can attach the permissions to that. So every user will get the other group of people will get the same policies. Okay. So something like administrator access, provide a full access to the AWS services and resources because of he is a administrator. So creating a group, creating a user will show you tomorrow, guys. So attach the policies, will show you tomorrow, and will show you tomorrow how to create a access key and secret key, and how to access the IAM console and how to access the AWS console will show you guys. Okay. Thank you so much. We'll continue from tomorrow.